guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today is day 30, oh my gosh, of Ethany's hashtag 31 Days of Tarot 20 for 2020, and the prompt for today asks us to share the card that we think best represents us from the tarot deck. So we could talk about the art or the color or the meaning or basically anything from the card that we think is a reason we chose that particular card from maybe this particular deck. And so the deck that I'm pulling from to show you the card is the Antique Anatomy. Woo! we got a little bit of glare going on, so here we go. The Antique Anatomy Tarot, the Ephemera edition, and I have the OG Antique Anatomy Tarot. I also pre-ordered the Memento Mori Oracle / Lenormand, which I just got the confirmation that it shipped, and I'm like, yes! I'm just like a huge fan of Claire Goodchild, so and I follow her on like the Instagrams and everything, and I know she has the she did the Oracle of Oddities, which I missed out on, and if she does a print again, I will get the Oracle of Oddities. And she has a couple other decks, and she just lots of good stuff. So okay, so like I said, the card that I chose is from that particular deck, and I will explain why. And I ended up choosing two cards because I think that I've always related to these two cards. I can't pick one or the other, both of them are me. And that's just how it's gonna be, okay? I couldn't choose one card. So those two cards are the Empress and the Strength card. And those of you that know me, especially those of you that know me outside of YouTube, probably will know why I have chosen these two cards. So the first card we'll talk about is the Strength card, and then let's talk about why I decided to use this particular deck for it. Well, number one, wow, I just keep getting blown out with highlights. Ever since I was young, I've always had this fascination with the human body. What are our guts? What's inside that makes us move and think and tick? And also I've always been very fascinated with nature, and I've been fascinated with spirit and all of that. Since I was little, this is not a new occurrence. This has always been me. I've always been fascinated with bones and bones of animals. I'd find bird bones on the ground, or I'd find bones of some animal, and I always wanted to figure out what it could have belonged to, and I try to imagine what that animal looked like. And anyway, so I have this maybe morbid fascination with death, transition, because I mean we're all going to experience it, and if you believe in reincarnation like I do, we all have experienced it, but because I don't remember it, it's very fascinating to me, and I think it's just an odd curiosity to kind of want to know what's the beyond. I mean, we can all have different beliefs and ideas about that, but until that actually happens, nobody can really say for sure. Even people who've had near-death experiences, some of their experiences tend to differ as well. So it's so for, so that's the reason I chose this deck. I just feel very, it touches a younger part of me, where I've always just been really fascinated with this fragility of life, this one day we're all going to make this transition, yet we all make metaphorical transitions kind of all throughout our life before we make the ultimate transition into shedding our bodies, becoming fully spirit. And the Strength card speaks to the many trials that I've had to overcome, and I think that that's just gonna be a part of the life that I chose when I came on this planet, is that I'm going to have a lot of difficult things happen. I'm going to be in a lot of difficult situations with a lot of difficult people, and as much as I am somebody who just dislikes conflict, I hate confrontation, I hate conflict, and to have the one thing that I hate be the common thing in my life, which is conflict, and just tower moments galore and death cards galore raining down on me kind of throughout my life. I mean, not every part of my life. I have some sun cards as well in there. But I've always come out, I know it sounds cliche, I've always come out a little bit stronger. And I've always, you know, I would say going back to when I was little, I always wanted to be strong, like my dad. My dad always went to the gym and he was always bodybuilding and he was always all about his strength. And I kind of know, like psychologically, kind of where all that was coming from, you know, based on his childhood. And for me, also based on my childhood and everything, I wanted to exude that strength. And the only way I knew how to look strong and like intimidating, although I don't think I ever looked intimidating, but I always like thought I did, is I would put on this like kind of tough exterior. Like I would never cry, no matter how bad somebody hurt me, or even if I was in a physical fight, I wouldn't cry. And I was really proud of that, that like I don't show that many emotions. You know, I have like my fun emotions and I have angry, you know, and it was just, I want to look as tough as possible so that people don't mess with me. So then I started like working out, because I wanted to feel on the outside what I wasn't feeling on the inside. And I didn't feel strong on the inside. I always felt, attacked, you know, because I grew up in a pretty hostile environment. And it took me quite a while to figure out that, you know, I really was strong on the inside. I just wasn't viewing myself that way. And so when it kind of came together where it was like, yes, you're strong on the outside, but heck yeah, you're strong on the inside too. It was like, oh. So yeah, there's that strength card. It's like physical strength, but it's also the endurance to keep moving forward, you know, which is kind of part of a Rocky Balboa quote. But yeah, I've passed through many a fires, come out, you know, like iron, strong. And I think I will continue to. That's just going to be the theme in my life. And what I think is lovely about the depiction in this card is because this is the femur. Okay, femur is meant to be kind of one of the strongest bones in the body. And it's also a very large bone, you know, it's what holds you up. And basically I've been holding myself up this whole time and I just didn't know it. Like I, you know, had this poor perception of myself and poor self-esteem, which, you know, at times I still work on, but I think I'm a lot better than little me was, you know, on how I thought about myself. And so basically it's like I've been the femur in my own body the whole time. I've been my own support system and I didn't even know it. So the reason I say that I would also be the Empress card is because in this depiction of the Empress, guess what's showing, you know, besides the legs and rib cage and spinal cord and all of that, but you have the femur. Basically, with the Empress is strength. And of course you have, you know, her reproductive system, you know, the Empress nurturing and all of that. You have the heart, the lungs, and of course, yes, the spinal cord and the rib cage. So I kind of see that as something that I learned later on about myself, is that, you know, I can be a woman, I can be feminine and be strong at the same time. Because like I said, when I was growing up, and this is not just me, but like a lot of people in my neighborhood, a lot of the girls would dress kind of boyish, kind of tomboyish, because they didn't want people to mess with them. Everybody wanted to look tough, like don't mess with me. You know, especially like some of the cholas that were in our neighborhood, like it was like the don't mess with me look, you know. So they would have like the baggy pants and they would have the flannel shirt and, you know, and all that. And, you know, sometimes I did too. But yeah, so the Empress here is what took me a long time to figure out about myself, is that, you know, I can be, you know, feminine, I could be, you know, girly, and that doesn't make me less strong. You know, I can be a strong person, but I could also exude what I am, which is a female. And females don't necessarily always have to be girly, but, you know, I wanted to be, I was just afraid to be because I thought of what people might be thinking, or, you know. And so, and I've always been a very nurturing person. Like I love to nurture others, and it took me a long time to nurture myself. And so that's something that I've been working on, and still, you know, I'm working on with myself, is, you know, I'm the Empress. I nurture myself, I nurture others. You know, here she has her lungs showing and her heart, which means that, you know, every breath she takes is within something that she loves. She literally breathes in and breathes out love. You know, everything she does with her heart. And the dude told me, well, I guess, well, let's see, this year, 2020, we will be dating 14 years. But when we were first dating, I remember he said that I always wore my heart on my sleeve. And he said what he meant about that is that I was always very clear with my emotions, and I wasn't afraid to be hurt. And I didn't, you know, it took me to be like, really? Do I do that? Do I really wear my emotions on my sleeve? And then I was like, oh. And then he was like, but that's admirable, because he calls himself emotionally constipated. He's like, where you just kind of let it out. And, you know, I have been better at that. You know, but she's also got her spinal column showing. So she's also, you know, is assertive when she has to be, you know, and I am assertive when I have to be, and don't always want to lay down the law all the time, but I can, you know, if I am pushed to. But yeah, that's why I decided to choose these two cards without going into, you know, like my whole life story or anything like that. So yeah, I look forward to seeing which card you guys choose for yourself, and maybe which deck you're choosing it from, and kind of why you decided to choose that particular artwork of that particular deck to represent yourself. So for me, I am the Empress and I am Strength. So, and yeah, that's me. So anyway, I will catch you spiritual homies tomorrow for the very last prompt for the 31 days of tarot. And this has been awesome. What I love about the 31 days of tarot is not only do we get to show off like cool decks and stuff like that, but it's a time for self-reflection. And I think that at the beginning of a new year, you should definitely do some self-reflection. So yeah. So if you guys would like to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. If you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe. Don't forget to click that ding, ding, ding notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you would like to send a little love my way, think about joining that KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittensweightsandtarot. Thank you to my VIP patron, Joseph Monreal, who will be mentioned throughout the rest of this month and February, because all my patrons moved up a tier, so they're enjoying that for right now, and that was part of like my Patreon anniversary. So anyway, I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.